My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, there is more to blindness than meets the eye. From brain-based disorders to ocular impairments, vision loss exists on a spectrum. Most people think of blindness in the simplest terms, a person who can't see. In actuality, blindness is more complex. In fact, there are many different types of blindness and visual impairment. Some blind people truly see nothing, while others see light, shadows, or objects that are close by. Vision loss can start at birth or gradually decline. Blindness can stem from a problem with the eye itself or be caused by a disorder in the brain. Worldwide, between 300 million and 400 million people are visually impaired due to various causes. Of this group, approximately 50 million people are totally blind. Besides the physical blindness, there is also the spiritual blindness, and the common symptoms are the inability to see the presence of God in one's life, the inability to recognize one's neighbor as a brother or sister. Some are not able to see anything positive in any situation or people. They see only the negatives in themselves, others, as well as in the circumstances of their life. Blind receiving sight is one of the signs associated with the coming of the Messiah. In Matthew chapter 11, we read, John the Baptist sending two of his disciples to Jesus with the question, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?" In reply to this, Jesus will say, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have good news preached to them." This was prophesied by Isaiah centuries ago when he said, as we read in Isaiah chapter 35 verse 5, "In those days the eyes of the blind will be opened and the deaf hear." This is not the only miraculous healing of the blind worked by Jesus. In Matthew chapter 9, 27 to 31, we read the story of two blind men who followed Jesus shouting, "Son of David, have mercy on us." And we are told in 9:29 that Jesus touched their eyes and said to them, "As you have believed, so let it be." Matthew 20, 29 to 34 narrates the story of two blind men who encounter Jesus as Jesus and his disciples leave Jericho. The same story is recounted by Mark and Luke as well, although the details vary a little. They too have the same request, "Son of David, have mercy on us." Moved with compassion, Jesus interrupts his journey, touches them, and we are told immediately they recovered their sight. In the story of the healing of the blind man recounted in Mark 8, 22 to 26, the recovery is gradual. Jesus applies spittle on the eye of the blind man 2 times to lead him to sight. The gospel reading of the day presents to us the story of a man physically blind being healed by Jesus. It's a story of a man born blind being healed, as well as the story of a society that is blind being made to realize that not all sicknesses and sufferings is a result of sin. At a second level, the story also narrates how the spiritual blindness of this man is also healed by Jesus in a progressive manner. He was born blind. Jesus tells us that God's work might be revealed in his blindness, and the subsequent healing becomes an occasion to reveal the work of God. that is, an occasion to manifest redemptive work of God. God's saving work was manifested when the blind were healed, when the deaf were enabled to hear, the lame made to walk, the lepers cleansed, etc. There is, I believe, yet another level of meaning to be recognized when Jesus says he was born blind so that God's work might be revealed in him. God's work is revealed not only when the physical blindness of the man is revealed, or physical blindness of the man is healed, but more, God's work is realized in him when through this healing, the blind man comes to believe in Jesus and falling on his knees, worships Jesus and becomes a disciple of Jesus. Dear friends, it's important to understand the baptismal connotation of this passage during this season of Lent. The blind man is asked to go and wash himself in the pool of Siloam. John tells us the meaning of the Hebrew word Siloam, the one sent. In the Gospels, we will see Jesus presenting himself as the one sent by the Father. Go and wash yourselves in Siloam. Go and wash yourselves in the one sent. In other words, go and wash yourself in Jesus the Messiah. The blind man is asked to go and wash himself in Jesus to get back his sight. When Siloam becomes the symbol of the one sent, that is Jesus, washing in Siloam becomes the symbol of the sacrament of baptism. Dear friends, we all have been washed in Siloam, in Jesus, the one sent, on the day of our baptism, and our blindness has been removed. The light of Christ was given to us on that day, lit from the Paschal candle, asking us to keep it ever burning and light up the lives of others. God's work was realized in us on the day of our baptism. Today, we need to kneel before Him in this Eucharist like the healed blind man, accepting Him as our personal Redeemer and continue to remain as His disciples.